Hello, Connective. Today we have the Empath Empowerment deck. We're looking for one card. The question for today is, what does the empath need to know to have strength and courage? Strength and courage for just a normal day. That'll help the empath. One card, please. They all want to jump out. Every single card wants to come out of this deck. Let's see, just one card. One card. We're in the habit of taking the one that fell out first from now on. And that is observe, don't absorb. So let me read it. If you are taking on the stress of others, try observing the situation from a distance. This will increase your energy. And it's funny because when I was asking the question, I was thinking of when I said strength, and courage. And I kind of meant I was thinking about how when an empath is having a hard time with their energy and they don't want to go outside. And, this happens for HSPs too, not just empaths. They get to the point where they don't want to go outside. And it doesn't take much sometimes. It depends on what's going on. Easier to happen during COVID, something like that. But it's funny that this came out because, you are much more empowered when you go out into the world and you don't absorb other people's stuff, especially during times where people's emotions are heightened or they're more sensitive because of something that's going on. It doesn't have to be a giant collective happening. It can be, each person could be going through their own individual stuff. It could be an emotional day for everybody. You walk outside, you go, my God, so yeah, if you just kind of notice, okay, this person's fighting with their wife, and you just kind of keep your distance and you just kind of let people, however they want to handle their own issues and how they want to portray themselves and what they want to allow themselves to feel and what they want to dwell on and, all the stuff they want to pack up and carry around with them, and just don't take in any of that, sometimes what I like to do, just to kind of reinforce what I just said, is when I observe something like that, when I say, when I see let's just say somebody's fighting with anybody. It doesn't really matter if it's their wife or their kid or whatever. I kind of have a rule where I don't fight. So when I can empathically observe, for lack of better words, that someone might be in an active fight that they don't want to be in, that's making them miserable, sometimes I will, say to myself, I'm very glad that today I've chosen not to fight with anyone, because, I can still observe what's going on with that person, and I can also be grateful for myself, that I hate to say it, that I'm not in that situation. I mean, although I am celebrating the fact that I have chosen not to be in that situation, the real reason for doing that is to reinforce the fact that I'm observing something and I'm not involved, sometimes it's a friend and that they're hurting and you kind of feel something. You're like, well, my friend really hurts and I don't know, I kind of feel something and I don't, and you can observe that too. You can be like, I feel this thing for her. Because, like I said, sometimes it can be hard in the heat of the moment. These lessons are great, when everything's peachy and going, let's say, the word I'm looking for is predictably. But then when something happens where the situation turns unpredictable, it can be a little different. I remember one time I have a friend who's an HSP at the very least. I think she's a powerful empath, but she was somehow I wasn't paying attention. We were in the same place, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on with her. And then I started to just get really uncomfortable, like super uncomfortable, to the point where I was uncomfortable in my own skin. And then I realized that she was on the phone and she was having a very uncomfortable conversation. And, it was so uncomfortable for me that I wanted to tell her to get off the phone. Like, it was just, I could feel that so hard. And then when she hung up, and could tell me what it was about, I could see why she was uncomfortable. Like, basically what I was picking up was her being uncomfortable in her own skin. And the thing is, in that situation, I am closely, involved in her, I want her to be happy, in that situation. I don't really feel like I was absorbing necessarily. I definitely know that I was picking it up, but I also do have strong boundaries with energy, particularly in certain places where there might be a lot of people. And, sometimes I feel like, that line, like I said, when things aren't predictable and things get a little, all of the sudden or very severe, it can be very easy to pick something up and kind of go, hey, did I absorb that? Maybe, and you might want to treat it like you just did. Like if you go home and do like a cleansing, like an aura cleansing or an energy cleansing or something, take into consideration that you experienced that day. It's very important to maintain your well-being, but also, like I said, for, when your strength and confidence when you're going out into the world, observe, don't absorb, do your best. And definitely, if you absorb something or you think you might have, do something extra to get rid of that and work on that until we meet again.